Hi, welcome to the Paper Turtle. This is Mary. We're going to do something a little bit different today, different from a haul video anyway. I'm going to do a craft, and you can either do it along with me or grab your own stuff and do your own thing while we'll just craft together. What I'm going to work on today is some journals, and I'm starting 3 journals fresh from scratch. And hopefully I can do these without messing them up too badly. What I'm going to do, these are going to be single signature journals. And the covers are just going to be made from paper and covered with fabric. So the first thing that I did, I picked out my fabric, and I figured that would be a starting point, and I went from there. And then I found paper to go with the fabric. So I'm doing 3 at a time, which I've done that before, where I've made 3 or 4 at a time, and it gets them done quicker if you want a quantity of them. I don't like to rush my journals. It usually takes me a couple of months to make a journal, but hopefully with these I can get them done a bit quicker than that. Well, I'm just going to go for it, and however long it takes, that's how long it takes. So the first one, I picked out this green toile fabric. Now this is a heavy upholstery weight fabric. I had actually bought this at a thrift store, and we used it to cover a stool, a footstool that we found at an estate sale that we bought, and we painted and we recovered, and it looks really, really nice. And this is left over. There was quite a bit of it here. If you're into fabrics and you know fabrics, it's a Waverly fabric, and it's called Rustic Life Sun and Shade. I think it's meant to be like an outdoor fabric. It's very heavy. I don't know if it's quite their Sunbrella fabric, but since it's called Sun and Shade, I think that it is that same type. So that's going to be a heavy, heavy cover. And the paper that I picked out to go with that, which is going to be the inside of the journal, is this paper here. And then the next one is this. It's, I believe it's a curtain that might have been made from a sheet. I believe it's vintage, at least 80s, maybe 70s, I'm not sure. But I'm going to cut it so that this part here with the butterfly is going to be on the front of the cover. So we'll see how we work that out. And then the paper that I got to go with that is this one. Again, that'll be the inside of the journal. And then the third one is this. This is an old pillowcase, again bought at an estate sale. It's I'm going to guess that it's pretty vintage by the colors and the I don't know if you can buy floral sheets like this anymore. I have no idea, but it's in really, really good condition for being older. You know, again, I'm guessing that it's older. Let's see. Well, here's a tag in it. Let me see. Marvelaire by Spring Made. 50 cotton, 50 poly. Standard muslin, made in USA. So that alone tells me that it's older. It's such good quality. I wish we still made stuff. So, and this is going to be the inside of that one. That was so pretty. Not so much the back. All right, so my journals are going to be, first thing we're going to do is cut the paper to size. I'm going to cut off the branding strip, and I'm going to make them 9 inches by 6. It's going to be the cover size. So I'm just going to cut each piece to 9 by 6. I know this is the boring part. Wait, is that right? Wait a minute. Let me think a minute. No. That's not right. See, I was going to mess up already. I want my... I don't want it that wide. That's the 9. I want this to be... Four and a half by 11. 11 is 5.5. I don't want them to be this wide. Hold on. I should have thought this through a little bit better. Let me grab one that I've done before and see how big that one is. I'll be right back. I'm not going far. I thought that I had a very simple measurement, and now I forgot what it was. That's bad. All right. So this one is about 4.5. I think that's about what I want, right? So that's going to be 9. And that's 8.5. That might... I kind of like that size. It's 8.5 by what would be 9. All right. I'm glad that I stopped before I cut that. I would have been very upset with myself about that. All right, so I wanted 8.5. Right? Yeah. Is that the size I want? I hope so. I just cut it. I'm confused now. That's too small. I wanted this to be 9. So when I fold it in half, it's going to be 4.5, right? Oh my. All right. Let me do this. Because this is 9. So 4.5 is going to be here. I'm scoring at 4.5 so that when I fold it, yeah, that's what I want. Okay. So I'm making these 9 by 8.5. Oh boy, why was that so difficult? I don't know. I hadn't thought it through, I guess. These aren't the first journals I've made. They really aren't. So 9 by 8.5. And the 9 edge, which is this one, right? Yeah, I'm going to score at 4.5. And this is also another reason why it's good to make more than one at a time. Because if you mess up on the first one, you've learned for the next ones. without losing too much. And this one I folded wrong. It has to go this way because this is the inside. Oh boy. We'll get it. I promise. I will get it. Wait till I get to cutting the signature papers. Then I'll really mess it up. Alright, is there a right way and a wrong way? This looks like it's up and down, right? So that's the 8.5. No, that's the 9. I'm going to fold it this way. So that's the 8.5. No, that's the 9. Oh boy. Do not follow along too closely. Wait until I've done it before you start to do it, because obviously I'm messing up. I'm not messing up that bad. It just takes me a minute to get acclimated, and then once I'm acclimated to what I'm doing, I'm just fine. It's been a while since I've actually made a journal because I've been doing other things. Okay, so that is, I've cut the papers to size. Now I have to cut the fabric to size. And what I'm going to do with my fabric, I'm going to glue it onto my cover, and then I'm going to sew around it. So I just want the fabric to be just a teeny tiny bit bigger than the paper cover. It's going to hang off the edge just a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. So I'll lay my fabric out. This is a big piece of fabric, so I have to open it up a little bit here and get an end of it. Whatever's going to be easiest for me to manage here. Maybe this. I also have to pay attention to the pattern on this fabric because I want it to have something on the cover that, you know, makes a little bit of sense to be on the cover. Probably like about this. I think that looks about good. This will be on the cover. Yeah, I like that. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to trace around this. If I can see it. Yeah. And I'm going to use my pinking shears. I'm not sure how that's going to come out looking, but hopefully it's going to work. Let's hold our breath. I'm going to cut it just a little outside of the line that I made. And if it's not perfectly straight, that's okay. It's all going to straighten itself out once I get it on the paper. Like I said, this is a huge, huge piece of fabric here. Now, you know, once I get this on there, if I find that it's a little bit too big, that's okay. I can trim it up. I'm going to do this first one, make sure that I did it right before I do the other two. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Let's see how it's going to look on here. So it's going to end up on there like that. And see, then I'll be able to trim it up if I need to. That's not perfectly straight there, but that's okay. Wish I had a little bit more on the edges, but it's all right. It's going to be fine. And then it'll look like that. I like that. Okay. Now, to sew this, to get this on here, I'm going to do 1/2 of the paper at a time, and I'm going to glue the fabric on, but I'm not going to worry about the edges because then I'm going to sew it after I glue it. So I'm going to put my glue on here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just using this Aleene's Tacky Glue, and I'm going to put some glue on. Ooh, it's coming out faster today. Doesn't usually come out that fast. And I'm going to use this card, and I'm going to just spread the glue so that it's a nice smooth surface, because if you glob your glue on, you're going to see those globs through your fabric, and that's definitely not what you want to do. Now, if I were going to sew this, I would make sure that I got this glue all the way to the edges. But it doesn't matter as much because I'm going to sew it, and that will hold the fabric on. Just place it carefully where I want it, and I think I need to come over just a tad bit. Okay. And I'm just going to smooth it down both sides. Now I am noticing that you can see the back of the paper through the fabric a little bit. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about that either. All right, and then I'm going to do this side. And I'm just going to put this piece of paper. This is just scrap paper that I used to glue on under here in case this glue seeps out the edges. And I think that on the other side I put a little too much glue, so I'm going to go a little bit easier on this one. A lot of this is going to depend on, you know, how much glue you use is going to depend on the weight of your paper. You don't want to saturate your paper too much, so you don't want to use too much glue. And this one I'm going to take, I think, and fold the fabric over, maybe. And you can pull your fabric a little bit, whichever way you need to. Yeah, that'll work. And you want to smooth out any wrinkles that you get on there. Just smooth it all out nice and flat. And at the same time making sure you're going to be able to fold it nicely. There. Now, you can see how it's uneven right along here. And that's okay, because I will trim that up, but I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to let this dry. And I think I might even sew it before I trim it. Okay. Now, if your fabric buckles just a little bit, don't worry too much about that, because you're going to sew this down and it's fabric. So it's okay if it's not perfectly perfect. And you'll see what I mean once you get to the more finished product of it. Okay, so that's that one. The next one, let me move my gluey paper here. The next one is going to be this one. This one I don't have to be as careful about where the pattern falls. So I'm just going to cut it up the seam here, or the side. This isn't really a seam, but I don't want this part of it here on my cover. So the cover is going to be above that. So I can actually cut that now. That'll make a nice straight edge. I'm sorry, I'm not even in camera. I'm not, you know, I haven't done a lot of actual crafting videos. So I'm not used to being as conscious of being in the frame. Because when I do my haul videos, I have this certain area and I know if I'm in that certain area, I'm good. When I'm crafting, you know, I just get involved in the crafting and I forget about where I'm supposed to be. All right, so then this is going to go on here. This fabric is a little lighter weight. It seems to move a little bit more. For those of you who are used to working with fabric, you know what I mean. And you probably are used to the different stretches and pulls of the different kinds of fabric and stuff. I'm not a big sewer. I used to sew. I made some baby clothes for my kids, because my kids are in their 30s now, so that was a long time ago. I think I remember making a maternity outfit for my sister when she was pregnant, and her child is now almost 30, I think. So that was the last sewing I remember doing. I probably looked at it and said, oh, heck no, I can't do this. And I stopped sewing. But, so I don't consider myself a sewer. but I do know how to use a sewing machine, so that helps. All right, so this is going to be here, and look what I did. I put the big flower right in the middle. That I guess I should have, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Either that's going to be the cover or that's going to be the cover. Oh, I like that part. All right. So now we're going to glue this piece on. Again, I'm going to sew around this. So the glue really is just to kind of hold it in place. Because even if after you sew, you don't want the middle part to be not connected and to move around too much. So putting the glue on is always a good idea. Well, it's a necessity, really. It's not just a good idea, but kind of something you have to do. Let's see. This. Right? Yep. No, this way. Again, sometimes I have to think it through, talk it through to myself. And again, I can see the pattern of the paper. This here is showing through a little bit on there, but it doesn't bother me because it goes. It's okay to show through. I don't mind it at all. So I'm making 3 journals here, and one of them I'm giving away to somebody that I owe something to. And one of them, I think I'm going to do a giveaway on my channel. I haven't done a giveaway before, but I think I'm going to, because I'm almost at 300 subscribers, and that to me is amazing. I really didn't expect to get more than like 25 subscribers, because I don't like advertise my channel. I don't put it out there anywhere. Even in the Facebook groups that I'm in, I have not put my channel out there. I think maybe once a long time ago when I first started, I might have. But I just don't, I don't know. I just feel funny doing the self-promoting thing. If I were trying to make money, yeah, I would self-promote, but it doesn't matter that much to me. I just have fun doing it. But gosh, you guys are great. I've gotten almost 300 subscribers. So, and maybe by the time I put this video up there, I may have 300 subscribers. I don't know. So I think that's fantastic. And so I want to do something. So I think that I'm going to do a giveaway and give away one of these journals. So kind of watch for that. I won't, put it up there until they're done, because what if I say I'm going to do a giveaway and something happens and I don't finish the journals, or it's months before I finish them or something. I don't know. But I will do a giveaway. Now that went a little more smoothly than the other one, and I think part of the reason for that is that this is a thinner fabric. It doesn't appear right now, I don't know if you can tell or not, that this is going to be a very sturdy journal cover, but it is, because the paper is cardstock weight. It's heavier paper. And once I sew on this, it just seems to give it a little bit more something, I don't know. And then I'm going to put pockets inside here. So that's going to add to the stability of it also. So I like that one. I think that's really pretty. Okay, so there's number 2. How's number 1 coming along? Yeah, see, you can tell the difference with this heavier fabric. But sewing on it is really going to help keep that in place. I like it. Okay, so that's 1 and 2. Now number 3. Let me move this stuff. Number 3 is this curtain. And I do want to be a little bit specific about where my cover is going to be, because I would like this butterfly to be on the cover. So it's going to have to be like about like that. This stripe will be on the back, and these flowers and the butterfly will be on the front. So I think that's where I want it, right like that. Maybe up just a little bit so that this is on there. Yeah. Okay, right about there. Again, this doesn't have to be exact because I am going to trim it up afterwards. I just need to know approximately where to cut. So when you are out thrifting and going to estate sales and stuff, don't forget to look at the linens, the pillowcases, the curtains. You know, you want them to be in good condition, not worn. And, you know, I have to say, first of all, things were made much better 30 or 40 years ago, 50 years ago. They had much better quality, so they lasted longer. And also, and maybe part of that was because they were better quality, I think that people took better care of their stuff so that it did last. They didn't go out and buy new sheets every season. They changed their sheets every season. They had summer sheets and they had winter sheets. I remember my mother doing that a little bit. But they took care of their stuff so that it would last. So when you go to these estate sales, these people, the stuff, it's vintage, but boy, some of it's in good shape. Just because it was made to last and they took better care of it. And that's to our advantage now. Okay, so that's going to be my cover. Oh, that's so pretty. All right. Yep. That's a nice one. Okay. I always put a paper on my table. I don't know why, because I have a craft mat, one of those Tim Holtz ones, on top of a cutting mat. Everything's very well protected, but for some reason, I still put down a piece of paper when I'm gluing. I guess because then I don't even have to clean it up. I just throw the paper away when it gets too bad. So, last one, and then I'm going to sew them. Now I want this to go this way. All right, so put it this way. I did this kind of backwards, I think. The next step, once these things dry, is to sew them. And that I'll do off camera because I have to do that on my dining room table because I don't have room in here to bring my sewing machine in. And yeah, you can see the pattern behind this too. Do you see it? It's this yellow, bright yellow flower pattern, and you can kind of faintly see it, and I like that. I think it adds a little bit to the background. What is that? Is that dirt? Oh, well, now I've just ruined it. I'm going to take a little damp cloth and try to get that off. I'll wait till the glue is dry. Do that. I don't know what that was. What was it saying? I don't know what I was saying. So what I'll do is I'm going to finish this up. I will go and sew these once they're dry, and then I'll come back, and in the next video we'll work on putting the signatures in. I might, in the meantime, I'll pick out the paper because that takes me a long time and you don't really want to watch that on camera. But in the meantime, I'll pick out the paper, and if there's any sewing that I need to do on the papers, then I'll do that. I don't generally sew on the paper just because, you know, it's just a pain to take the sewing machine out and do all that. So I don't usually do it. But sometimes if I'm in the mood, I might. We'll see. All right, that one went on pretty smoothly. It was that heavier material that gave me the harder time. So my suggestion, go with a lighter material rather than the upholstery fabric, but, you know, maybe not. Maybe it won't give you such a hard time. All right, so here's our 3 covers ready for sewing. This one that was the curtain, and that's what the inside is going to look like, and it'll be sewn around the edges. You'll see it once I finish it and trim it up and clean this off. And then the upholstery toile and the pink pillowcase. So that's the start of our 3 journal projects. Hope you enjoyed the video, and check back in when I put the signatures together and put the signatures in, and then after that we'll start some decorating. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.